Good morning everybody and welcome back to Welcome Grove Homestead. First of all, I want to point out I will be wearing sunglasses for at least this video. Something did happen to my eye, so I have to protect it from the sun. I was milking Claire the other day and she happened to just get me just right with her tail, and the hair on the end of her tail actually scratched my eyeball. It's not fun. It's not bad, it's not serious, it's healing fine, but the doctor did tell me that I needed to wear sunglasses at all times when I was outside, just so. If you catch the camera reflection in the glasses, it is what it is. Anyway, today is a very big day. We are going to be processing some animals. We've got some rabbits that need to go to the freezer. We have 7 extra roosters on this property, and we don't need 7 extra roosters, so they're gonna go to the freezer, as well as our 2 turkey jakes, because honestly we don't need 4 toms. So we are just kind of making it a big mishmash day, and we're gonna put all these birds and the rabbits into the freezer. Now with the roosters, 5 of them came from our batch of chicks that we ordered with our little hatchery mix of laying birds, and ended up with quite a few roosters. And they have not been good roosters. They are freeloaders. They just hang around the coop all day. They don't protect the flock. They don't do anything that contributes to the flock, and they're not nice to the hens. They are forcing them to breed without doing any of the work that a rooster should be doing. So the hens don't particularly enjoy it, and so we're getting them gone. And we also have 2 roosters that came with our newer batch of birds that we bought as a flock, and that came with 4 roosters. We decided to go ahead and keep 2 of the smaller roosters just because they're nice to look at, and they're generally nice roosters. They're not hurting anything, and we enjoy looking at them, so they get to stick around. The 2 jakes have been starting to really challenge our toms, Nara and Ganzit, and it's just time. So we're gonna go ahead and put them in the freezer as well. The rabbits are 3 months old, and so it's just, they've reached that appropriate size, so it's time to put them in the freezer. We do have 2 does that I have someone coming to pick them up, so they will not be going to the freezer. They're still gonna be sticking around with us for the next few days, and then they'll head out to their new home. Now as for Rapunzel, still no calf. Woo, found a hole. That cow is having great fun in torturing me. Checking her every day, twice a day, for signs of labor, and still nothing. So we are guessing that's probably going to be around the next full moon, which is going to be next weekend. And so we'll see if that finally does it and she finally drops this calf, because she is getting absolutely enormous. She's out in the field right now. Now yesterday was very eventful as well, because Miss Bindi here was a bad girl. I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but there's a pile of feathers in the pen here. She got a hold of a chicken yesterday. I was rounding up our roosters to put them in the lockup pen over here for them to fast overnight, and Nathan comes in and says, "Mom, Bindi killed a guinea." And I was like, ah. So I'm making my way over there to deal with the situation, and I see her, and she's got a bird between her feet, and she's pulling feathers out of it, and I yell, "Bindi!" And she stops and looks, you know. And it's not a guinea, it's a chicken, and she seizes that moment to make her break, because she's not dead yet. So it involved a lot more speed as I'm sprinting to intervene. She did not catch the bird again. She got roundly scolded for it, but the chicken has survived, and only with a couple of superficial wounds. So that was surprising to me. I think that what happened is that Bindi chased the chicken, and then she caught the chicken and didn't know what to do with it, so she was just having fun, which, I mean, it's not great. And she's a dog that, like, when we got her, she came from a poultry farm. They were around birds. But I know that that does not mean that she's a bird-proof dog. She's in her stupid teenage phase, and she's pretty much turkey-proof because, I mean, we had the turkeys in here. She never bothered them. But occasionally a chicken or a guinea gets in there and she does chase them, which is not great. So we're working on that. But the chicken survived. She spent the night in the basement just because of the shock, and I didn't want to throw her in with the other birds for the night. So she's still in the basement until we're done with our processing. We're leaving all the birds locked up until we're done, just because it's not that we're like concerned about shielding them from seeing it. It's that they get in our business. And so it's just easier to keep them out of the way if we just don't let them out until we're done. But the basement chicken has survived. She's one of our sapphire gem chickens. So I'm really glad that she came away with barely any superficial wounds and that she recovered. She's perky. She's ready to go this morning. Proof that goats' brains are made wrong. All those branches to munch on. And they're gonna climb up in the tree. For literally the same thing. It's cedar. Silly goats. Alright, so we finished our rabbits. They are all in the cooler now, cooling down. And we are gonna go ahead and move on to the birds in a few minutes here. But first we're getting all of our rabbit stuff cleaned up. And hi.
Hi. Hey everybody.
Thank you.
Bunny's done.
Bunnies are done.
Birds.
This guy is amazing. Just doesn't complain and does the undesirable jobs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's no fun like putting, doing the whole bunny slaughter thing. They are fluffy. They're fun.
Well, yeah.
They're sweet. You do get to give them some love before the end. Give them a good life.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, people ask, how do you get past the fluff factor? And you know, you have to be very intentional from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's that
they were never pets.
they make a lot of babies, and if you cannot sell them all, you cannot keep them all because they're just going to keep eating.
Yeah.
And
well, and we handle them enough so that if people do want to take them as pets, they get to. And
right.
they're so at the end when we're getting them out of the kennel and we're headed towards the actual slaughter process, they're calm, they're comfortable. It kind of helps all of that whole process go smoothly.
yeah.
And fortunately, 2 of them were saved because we are selling them for pets. So the sale of those 2 bunnies will pay for the care and feed for the others, which kind of produces almost meat at no cost for our family, which is huge.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
all right.
all that to say, thank you, sweetie, for doing it.
All right, let's get ready to do some birds.
Okay.
So what you got there?
I got a bag of pelts.
And what are you gonna do with them?
We'll can them. First, I'm gonna freeze them.
Well, you're gonna can pelts? Can pelts?
Tan.
And you got a bag of Pam or bottle of Pam next to you. What's that about?
Apparently, we're spraying that in the kill cones to help the blood not stick to them. It helps. So I've heard. We're gonna try it out.
Looks like you got some birds.
Yeah.
So those are our first home turkeys.
Yeah. What do you think?
Pretty cool. Of course, you got some chicken action going on there.
Yes.
Very nice.
Now, I've never skinned a bird before.
How long this hair
This
is.
is an education.
Nice.
Well, we finally finished getting all the birds done. You know, it does take considerably longer to do these things when you only have a handful of people versus a whole bunch of people. But also, it was very different processing mature roosters versus the really young Cornish cross birds, as well as it was our first time doing turkeys, so that was a learning experience. But we decided to go ahead and skin the roosters because they were just impossible to pluck. And basically our plan is that they're probably all going to be cooked in such a way that makes them a shredded meat, so you really don't need the skin on them anyway. So we went ahead and we skinned all the chickens. We have our turkeys that we processed as a whole bird, and then we have our rabbits that we did today. What are the perks of the cleanup? The geese are taking turns having a bath in our little wash basin. Ladies. So while we've been doing the cleanup for the whole processing day, David and Josh and Todd are over here working on my parents' deck once again. They are saying they hope that it will be finished by the end of the day today, which is pretty exciting because once that is done means that Mom and Dad can get the inspection on their house so they can get the power for their house so they can actually move into it, because this has been a really long process. Very first estimate was that they would be like move-in ready by like September, I think, last year. That was a while ago. So nice to get some progress. Hey folks.
Hey, we got a deck built. Well, most of a deck anyway. And
hey, look at that.
A plethora of tools. Good times. All the boards are in.
Yay!
We are in the process of doing these beautiful cuts and putting on baseboards, and then we will do stairs or something else depending on whatever's next.
Firepole. Dale said he wanted a ramp instead. He wants to come down and around the corner.
I want it to be a half pipe ramp. So wheelchair up.
Yes.
And you'll need it when you come down. Anyway, yeah, it's looking good. I've learned a lot about building with Trex. It's a lot harder than wood. And yeah, it's different. It's gonna last forever. It'll be here when our children are dead. Long after we are. But no, pretty cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Alright, so it's getting pretty dark out and I'm doing my night chores now, but I thought you guys might want to see Miss Rapunzel, who still has not had her calf. She's killing us, but she is not in here. So I'm gonna go get her and then do her nightly check. Alright, so you guys kind of have to look through the light of my phone. But here she is. She's looking absolutely enormous. I know it's hard to tell because of the lighting, but she's really big, and I have been working on training her. She now likes scratches. Well, we certainly had a busy day today, processing some animals, getting that deck worked on. We're all exhausted. So I'm gonna go ahead and get Claire milked and call it a night. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, this is your country nerd with a goat herd, saying that you can grow where you're planted.